Hello people, welcome back again to Fintastic. In this video we are going to talk about the concept of moat. Now what is moat and why is it important while selecting stocks? Let's just understand that first. In olden days our ancestors used to build long wide channels around the castles filled with water to make it difficult for the enemies to attack. These castles were called moat, and these kind of constructions done around the castles used to protect the castles from any kind of enemy attacks, and this also actually helped the castles to survive for a longer time period. But how is this concept connected to business, and how can you relate it to business? Maybe you can, maybe you cannot, but the great investor Warren Buffett can. One of the wealthiest person in the world, Warren Buffett, actually tossed this concept in Berkshire Hathaway's annual meeting in the year of 2000. Let's understand in his own words first.
The most important thing you can, what we're trying to do is we're trying to find a business with a wide and long-lasting moat around it, protecting a terrific economic castle with an honest lord in charge of the castle. And in essence, that's what business is all about. I mean, you may want to be the lord of the castle yourself, in which case you don't worry about that last factor. But what we're trying to find is a business that, for one reason or another, it can be because it's the low-cost producer in some area. It can be because it has a natural franchise, because of service capabilities. It could be because of its position in the consumer's mind. It can be because of a technological advantage. For any kind of reason at all, that it has this moat around it. And then what we have to decide is all moats are subject to attack in a capitalistic system. So everybody is going to try, if you've got a big castle in there, people are going to be trying to figure out how to get to it. And what we have to decide, and most moats aren't worth a damn in capitalism. I mean, that's the nature of it, and it's a constructive thing that that's the case. But we are trying to figure out why is that castle still standing, and what's going to keep it standing or cause it not to be standing 5, 10, 20 years from now. What are the key factors, and how permanent are they? How much do they depend on the genius of the lord in the castle? And then if we feel good about the moat, then we try to figure out whether the lord is going to try and take it all for himself, or whether he's likely to do something stupid with the proceeds, etc. But that's the way we look at businesses.
So in simple terms, this is basically a competitive advantage you have over your rivals. So we studied these moats individually and we have come up with explanations on them. And do not worry, I'm not going to bore you with any kind of definitions. We are going to study each and every moat with an example of a company which is present right now in the market. So let's just dive into the topic now. The first point being business monopoly. Now, IRCTC is a classic example of business monopoly in Indian markets. It is a subsidiary company of the Indian Railways that handles the catering, tourism as well as online ticketing operations. If you take all these services which they provide, actually have a monopoly. If you see the catering services, they are the authorized catering services provider of Indian Railways. If you want to book an e-ticket on train, IRCTC is the authorized partner for that as well. And if you know, a few years earlier, we used to get different kinds of mineral waters on railway stations. But now if you observe, we get only Rail Neer, which is a IRCTC owned brand, in all the railway stations. So this company clearly has the business monopoly in the Indian Railways market. They are also trying to widen the gap of their moat every year, and which is possible for them being a government subsidiary. Another example which you can take in cigarette business is ITC Limited. 81% of the cigarettes in India are sold by ITC Limited. The next moat we are going for is low pricing advantage. Now, how can any firm benefit from low pricing? Can it? Yes, it is possible if we do it on a mass level. Let's take an example of DMart in this. Now, DMart is a retail chain shop which is mainly operating in central and western region in India. And whenever you go to DMart, you do not go there for a shopping experience. You go there when you want a feeling of savings on your household items. So DMart has been able to maintain these low prices because of different strategies like bulk orders or maintaining healthy cash credit cycles with suppliers and many more of them. And at the same time, they have also been able to maintain the profitability as well. So these kind of strategies make DMart distinct from the other companies in the competition, and low pricing becomes the moat for DMart in this case actually. Next up is strong brand name. Now, there are various examples of big brand name advantages in India, but we are going to take an international example brand name for this. Apple. Now, as per 2019 records, Apple is actually the third largest company in the world, mobile company in the world quantitatively, but it could still manage to maintain 66% of the profits of total industry and 32% of the revenue. Apple actually is the biggest company which has been able to manage this kind of such high margins. And yes, you guessed it right, the brand name is iPhone. Obviously, iPhone actually enjoys superior brand loyalty over others, and it has also been successfully managing to endorse their products as a status symbol. So even if they want to charge high premiums, people still want to buy their products. This is what makes Apple distinct from their competitors, and they have also been able to protect and widen their moat over the years. The fourth one is technological advancement. If you want to know how a company can maintain and widen its moat by technology, Facebook would be the most appropriate example. First of all, because of technological advancement, they have been able to grab the major share in social media, and to maintain it or to widen the gap of their moat, they actually took over the competitors, WhatsApp and Instagram. IndiaMart, InfoEdge and Affle India are the companies which have been enjoying healthy level of technological moat in Indian markets. The last one is high caliber promoters or management. You would have heard the name of Mr. Aditya Puri. He is actually now the former CEO of HDFC Bank. He literally built India's biggest private bank in his 25 years of tenure. Take FIIs, DIIs or retail investors, it is their darling stock. And why it shouldn't be? It has actually managed to give such massive returns over the years. But let me tell you one thing, if you're not aware, institutional investors were actually investing into that stock just because of on the name of Aditya Puri. They were ready to bet on the name of Aditya Puri because he had built such an indestructible structure that investors were confident to bet on his name because of his compelling track record. Let's take one more example of Mr. Mukesh Ambani, the wealthiest man of India. He is so adept in his business that everybody says mota bhai hai to chinta nahi. His hunger for growth, well-planned strategies and timely execution, superb marketing tactics are actually widening its moat gap from its competitors. In case of Reliance, actually investors are ready to pay premium to get this moat called Mukesh Ambani. I hope now you have a better understanding of the concept of moat and why it is important to consider while selecting stocks for your portfolio. But if you're watching so patiently, I want to give you one more tip. Many investors groan that they are not able to get a proper exit when they enter their investments. I mean, it is possible for them to get a good entry, but while exiting, they are confused. So if you're taking the concept of moat, definitely in that what you can highlight is whenever you see the moat of any business is in danger or is in the depraving stage, you can consider to exit your investments. Wait a minute, before just quickly going and researching on this moat concept and on the stocks to add stocks in your portfolio, just do the mandatory things which are required over here first. So like the video if you have liked the content, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment for any kind of feedback, and stay tuned for the next video. Did you know, even though MOATS are successfully proven methods for investment, in May 2018, Tesla CEO Elon Musk said MOATS are lame. He added, "What matters is the pace of innovation, that is the fundamental determinant of competitiveness." In response, Warren Buffett defended the idea of MOATS in one of his shareholders' meeting, which prompted satirical tweets from Elon Musk. However, neither side of the debate is likely to be proven definitely right anytime soon.